This show is presented by SAP. Who am I and how am I feeling? I'm Clive Owen, and I'm great, thanks. What if businesses could really understand how their customers feel? It's a thing. It's SAP Experience Management. For more, go to sap.com/xm.
Football represents something we are.
Football is like life. You gotta push.
Fantasy football is about proving that you are better than your friends.
Hold up.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Faceoff,
I'm gonna do what's best for the team.
where fantasy meets reality.
Pure fantasy football nirvana.
And now your hosts,
Let the games begin.
Anthony Cervino and Michael Hauff.
Welcome back, everybody, to the FF Faceoff. This, of course, is a podcast where fantasy meets reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best in the
My name is Michael Hauff. You can follow me on Twitter at the FF Realist. My partner in crime is Anthony Cervino. He can be followed at the Real NFL Guru. Anthony, how's by you on this Monday?
I am doing outstanding, Mike.
All right.
What about you?
I like it. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. You know, hanging in there. Figured we decided this morning, screw it. Let's record something today. Just so you guys know, today's going to be a lot of news. We're going to have some we're going to recap a little bit of the preseason, kind of talk about some of the players, whether their stock's going up or down in fantasy. And also important to note that on tomorrow's show, we are going to have Kate and Michelle, the wonderful women of the Ball Blast podcast. So that'll be fun, Anthony. We'll have them on. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about your boy Joe Mixon or their boy James Conner, right?
Absolutely. Excited for that. For that.
Yes, indeed. So looking forward to that. We'll have a good time with that. But yeah, again, we are going to discuss some of the news. So yeah, Anthony, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk a little football. I mean, who wouldn't be, right?
I mean, this is what we're here for, right? We have
Yeah,
a week
absolutely.
of the preseason in the books. I want to give a quick shout out to Andy Singleton, his website, Expand the Box Score, and then Drafting with Giants 5. Last year was our first year in it. We went in together as a podcast. 3 out of our first 4 picks went on IR
Yes.
in week 1.
Tough sledding.
But we're in there separately now. So what division are you in?
I was tweeting this morning. Was it Drafting with Giants, I believe?
Yes. I'm in the
believe
Roto
so.
World division.
All right. Good. So I won't have to tune you up at all. It's fine. No.
I mean, I'm sure head-to-head. What's going on? Do we have to pull out the record sheet?
Well, we don't have to pull that out yet.
Okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
Or if you're going to pull that out, at least pull out our record of our bets.
Oh.
You know.
I'd rather
Same.
lose a bet and win in fantasy.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
All right. Yeah, let's move on. All right. So anyway, actually, really quick, before we get into our trending topic, that's a good spot for the Vince
You're a small petty man.
Before we get into the trending topic, though, I want to ask you quickly, because between the time I was on the way here to set up everything and to record, you had informed me, and now I see it on Twitter, Dak Prescott turned down $30 million a year. Is that correct? And he's looking for $40 million per year?
Yeah.
Making life real hard on Jerry here. He's just trying to get Zeke in the building. This guy's asking for $40 million. So much for taking the Tom Brady approach. I'll take less.
Well, Dak is betting on himself, right?
Yeah.
And number one, not for nothing. Look at some of these quarterbacks. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, 3-5 games, he gets a big-time deal. Matt Stafford. Look at these players that are getting these big-time deals, and you really just have to be an average NFL quarterback, and you're going to get a big-time deal. And you know how I feel, and I know Dak Prescott doesn't have the Carson Wentz pedigree, and I know that Dak Prescott isn't going to give you Aaron Rodgers statistics. But, I mean, nobody's won more primetime games. Nobody has won more games since he's been in the league except Tom Brady. Couple of division championships, a playoff win, a win as a rookie, I believe, in Lambeau Field. I mean, Dak Prescott has a pretty impressive resume. Now, Would I have turned down that 30 mil if I was Dak? No. But what does this tell you? He believes that he can lead the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl. And if he does, in fact, lead the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl and they win it, better believe he's going to cash in that $40 million a year contract.
Okay. I understand that we need to remember that when we're talking about contracts here, we're not necessarily talking about fantasy scoring and, obviously we're talking about NFL. So there are two different things as much as some of us would like to think that they're one and the same. So I understand that, he's won a lot of games and so on and so forth, but the truth. He's making things a little bit harder for the Cowboys organization as a whole. I mean, they're just trying to get Zeke in the door there. And listen, we could say all the wonderful things about Dak Prescott that we want, but we've also made it abundantly clear that he needs Zeke.
He needs help.
He needs Zeke. Right. Zeke is help.
He needs Amari Cooper, and he needs a defense. I get it, but who doesn't? I mean, as great as Russell Wilson is,
all right,
he needs a defense.
Of course.
He needs that running game.
Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to slight him by saying that he needs help, but I'm saying
some people do.
Okay, well, you and me are talking right now, and he needs Ezekiel Elliott. He needs Zeke, and Zeke's not even in the building. Zeke's having another beer in Mexico with his feet up. Well, probably
Zeke will be there. Zeke will be there when it counts.
Okay. All right, I'm just saying because he needs Zeke. He can't, as much as I say nice things about Tony Pollard, and I do like him, he can't do it with Tony Pollard. So, just whatever. Just putting that out there, Anthony. Also, though, let's actually get to our trending topic before we get into the news that we have. The trending topic being that an arbitrator has, shockingly enough, ruled against Antonio Brown in Antonio Brown's quest to wear whatever helmet he wants. Up next, it'll be his jock strap. But for now, he did lose the case as far as his helmet's concerned. But it looks like, at least from what some reports are suggesting, that AB says that he's still playing football this season. So, Anthony, it's hard to wrap our mind around this. What the hell is going on? Is Antonio Brown really this crazy? Is this for Hard Knocks ratings? Is this just theatrics? I mean,
Antonio Brown is a sideshow.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown is coming apart at the seams. Antonio Brown is too big for Antonio Brown. Now, yeah. I understand why he wants to wear the helmet, but you have to follow the rules. Now, what this could do, maybe the league and the NFLPA can come to a vote down the line to change the rule, but I'm not shocked that AB said he's playing football this year. I mean, how can he not?
No, I'm not shocked about that. And listen, it's funny enough, O.J. Simpson, as much as people obviously have an understandable disdain for him, he had said that, AB could say all he wants about he's not going to play, but that contract, he's not turning down that money because of a helmet. He'll be there. So, I don't think anybody, well, I guess somebody did. I never realistically thought that AB wasn't going to play. OJ had suggested that it was just a sit-out camp, which, makes sense. I could buy into that.
He needs to be in camp.
Yeah, I know he does. Because the difference is now is not even so much. And listen, I did a show on Saturday where I talked about Antonio Brown, a little side show for just the podcast listeners. So you can go into our archives and listen to that. But it's not even so much because of the Hall of Fame. He's not playing with the Hall of Fame quarterback anymore. It's because he's playing in a whole new offense. So yeah, he does need to be there. Now, hopefully he shows up now. But that is the latest as of 5:46 and
always greener.
Right. As of 5:46 and about 55 seconds, that's the latest on Antonio Brown. The script could completely flip between now and the time we end the show. So stay tuned. Anthony, with all of that being said, we'll now get into our news, some of the headlines, and some of the preseason recap, which today is brought to you by fantasydata.com. Anthony, you want to tell the fine folks here a little bit about Fantasy Data?
Yeah, absolutely. This podcast is sponsored by fantasydata.com, home to the industry's top fantasy football data providers. FantasyData.com offers the hardcore fans the ability to download statistics, projections, and get their hands on some of the best premium fantasy football content in the industry at a very reasonable price. This year, fantasydata.com has created 2 new premium features that are getting a lot of buzz in the industry: the advanced efficiency metrics and the advanced player performance metrics. These sortable pages dive deep into the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end positions, offering up some awesome golden nuggets for finding sleepers. Check out fantasydata.com right now and sign up using the promo code FACEOFF. That's FACOFF.
Anthony, that sounded professional as hell. I liked it.
A little stumble there.
Nah, you're fine.
I'm working on it.
I mean, you broke late. It sounded great at the end. So
You should check out the promo from the last show. That was even better than this.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, there's a reason to keep watching. Let's see where Anthony's promos go. Anthony, the Indianapolis Colts and the Browns are going to have some joint practices this week. But shockingly enough, quarterback Andrew Luck will not be in attendance, or he will not be participating, I should say, would be a better choice of words. He's still dealing with the calf injury. Roto World is saying that while there's no timetable for his recovery, he's going to be ready for week 1. Sounds very non-committal. It sounds like when my wife asked me, when am I going to do the dishes? Like, I can't give you a timetable, but it'll be done by such and such. Very non-committal. Given his history, and I understand that it's not his neck anymore, what's our level of concern here?
There are 3 things in life that are guaranteed.
Oh, wait, Anthony. I'm sorry. I had to interrupt you. At Gump Corey.
Okay.
On Periscope. Sorry, this is important.
Okay.
He says he would like to see you in a cage match with the thumbs down guy on YouTube.
I would absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah.
Can it be the old blue cage?
Absolutely.
As long as it's the old blue cage, I am down for it.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna respond on Periscope here. Let's find out who this mystery man is, and then we'll do dance. We'll dance. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about your
3
thoughts on
things
Andrew
in
Luck.
life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and that Andrew Luck is going to deal with a preseason injury that's going to keep him out. And that's all this is to me. I am not too worried about Andrew Luck's week 1 status. What I am worried about is if this calf injury could linger. I brought this up on the last show. Andrew Luck loves contact. He's a mobile quarterback, and if that calf injury is going to keep coming up, it's going to hurt his mobility a little bit, but he's still a pretty good pocket passing quarterback. He has a big arm, and he'll still put up some numbers. But his ability to go to the outside and make plays could be affected if this calf injury is serious. I don't think he'll miss time, but I do think it could impact him one way or another as the season goes on.
It should be noted that some fantasy fans are concerned because according to fantasyfootballcalculator.com, right now he's the 4th QB going off the board with the 5th pick in the 6th round. Back on August 3rd, he was the 2nd pick in the 5th round. So he has slid down more than, a round and a couple of picks in just about a week's time. So some folks are a little concerned. I mean, I also think that considering the investment that you have to make in order to get an Andrew Luck, I think I'd rather wait. You can get some other guys. Again, quarterback, we always discuss this every single year. This is because it's a reality, not because it's an anomaly, like a one-time deal. Quarterback is probably the deepest position in fantasy.
And it just keeps getting deeper. There's about 24 quarterbacks you can see yourself starting and be comfortable with it.
Right. So while if I had to put money down on it, I'd say he'd be ready for week 1. Is just some concern here for me on that.
A bigger note out of Indianapolis, and I don't think it's severe, that my guy, who I believe is the best player to come out of last year's draft, Quentin Nelson, he's a little bit banged up.
Right, which won't help the calf if Andrew Luck's running for his life. But there you go. So keep an eye on all things Indianapolis. And they do, by the way, they're, like I said, they're practicing with the Browns. They do have a preseason game against the Browns in week 2 of the preseason. So there you go. In June, the Saints had signed Rashard Matthews. Anthony was very excited, probably, because he's always excited about these gross wide receivers.
I like Rashard Matthews.
Exactly.
He was good in Tennessee.
All right. Well, okay. Either way, the fat lady has sung because this past weekend, the Saints, unfortunately, had relieved Rashard Matthews of his duties. They had released him, and subsequently, Rashard Matthews has now decided to retire. So, ending his 7-year career. Anthony, since you like Rashard Matthews, and since I'm just being rude, do you have anything nice to say about Rashard Matthews?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't know the guy personally.
Nice send-off. All right. So, also, Saints news. Tight ends coach Dan Campbell has told the press that it's pretty easy to see the impact that Jared Cook is going to have, or that he's been having during this camp. His current ADP right now, he's the 9th tight end going off the board with the 11th pick in the 7th round. He's one of the tight ends when you talk about, and by the way, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about him tomorrow, but you'll have to tune in to see why. I think when you talk about tight ends, you talk about those big three. You talk about Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, in no particular order. And then you talk about, there's Evan Ingram and there's O.J. Howard, and then there's that, and then you wait. To me, when you're waiting, he's one of the top guys to wait for when you're in that position to wait. And I know we've been burned before by, yes, drink to Rashad. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting replies here on Periscope. Periscope's alive and well, folks. Hop on there now. But yeah, I know we've been burned before by the Kobe Fleeners of the world. I know it's a very dirty word in fantasy circles. I'm really buying into this, man. Again, we're going to talk about him tomorrow, so we'll keep it a little bit brief. But Anthony, you have any quick thoughts about Jared Cook here?
I think he's the best they've had. I don't, Jimmy Graham, maybe Ben Watson when he had that big year. Kobe Fleener. Did we really buy into Kobe Fleener that much? Did I? Probably not. But Jared Cook, considering the other weapons, not named Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara, or lack thereof, Jared Cook, by default, could be like a wide receiver 2 in this offense. Just like we said last year about the Colts. They didn't have a wide receiver 2. The wide receiver 2 was going to be Jack Doyle and Eric Ebron. And look how that worked out. There's going to be a lot of targets and a lot of opportunity for Jared Cook. He just needs to do something with it. I mean, he had, 101 targets right around there last year with the Oakland Raiders. He was their target leader by default.
Yeah.
They didn't have anybody at receiver. They were starting Marcel Aitman in Week 17. But I think Jared Cook's going to get the job done. Am I taking Jared Cook over Vance McDonald? That is something you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out.
There you go. And by the way, it was 101 targets. He caught 68 of those for 896 yards and 6 touchdowns. So, yeah, did wonders for the Raiders last year. We'll see how it goes in New Orleans. Anthony, now we're going to go to Jacksonville, and we're going to talk about your boy, or at least one time your boy. We'll see if he's still in your good graces, that being Leonard Fournette. He told Sirius XM NFL Radio that he's dedicated himself to getting in better shape, and that would be, this entire offseason, and also physically, as well as addressing the issues off the field. One would have to imagine if he's addressing his issues off the field that all of his parking tickets are in order, and that his license is probably not suspended, one would hope. Anthony, you have been a Leonard Fournette guy. I'm not sure where you stand currently. What do we think about Leonard Fournette here? Do we buy into this? Folks were burned last year because you had to invest very high draft capital in order to get Leonard Fournette. So if you took him, he burned you. Are you buying into Leonard Fournette this year?
Right now, where his ADP is, hasn't really changed. He was always in that mid-third range, and I like that a lot because when Leonard Fournette is healthy, he puts up big-time production. His rookie year, 13, 12 games, RB8 and PPR. I like his ADP, and I'm going to continue to buy Fournette depending on my team makeup. If I'm drafting a big-time running back in the first round and coming back with a receiver, then Fournette would be a great RB2. Think about Leonard Fournette as your RB2 with an Ezekiel Elliott or a Kamara or a Christian McCaffrey. I love that. Other running backs I like going around him. Melvin Gordon, first pick in the third. Damian Williams dropped, 10th pick in the second. I wish I would. I mean, all of a sudden, I love this area for running backs, and I was fading that fringe third round for running backs for a while. Now I love it. And then my guy after Fournette, Aaron Jones. Marlon Mack's dropping. All of a sudden, I love this third round for running backs. Because Derrick Henry's dropping too, and he's not in the third round anymore.
God, I love it. I love Derrick Henry. And I love Devontae Freeman, by the way. I'll take him. But yeah, listen, it's a tricky thing with Fournette because you used to always have to worry about him staying healthy. Now you have to worry about him staying healthy and not acting like an idiot. So it's a bit of a mixed drink to draft Leonard Fournette. But again, considering where his ADP is right now among those running backs, if he booms, he's gonna boom, man. But if he busts, you're gonna be picking shrapnel out of your ass for days. So, or for the entire season, it's probably a better way to put it. Anthony, before we move on from the Jaguars,
is it really like?
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette, since he's been in the league, you are drafting him as your RB1.
No, I know.
Now you're going to draft
that.
him either as your RB2, or if he's your RB1, you probably have Kelsey and Odell Beckham already.
Right.
So
I get it.
For a player with his upside, top 10 upside, to me, it's almost a no-brainer. I just wish I had a better grasp on his injury situation, or I wish he had a better grasp on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that if he can boom for you, he's going to be big for where you can draft him. Yeah, it's just precisely the point. If he busts for you, it's still a third round pick, even if his ADP is nice. If he busts, it's still a hard shot to your team. Yeah. I think he's going to be better this year. Clearly he'll be better than he was last year, barring injury. But that's easy to say that. I definitely think he'll be better. So I'll buy in. I'll buy into it. Just hope that he meant what he said when his parking tickets were paid. I want to ask you, though, because of the injury.
Killing me today.
What's that?
I said my back is killing me today.
Well, let's hope Leonard Fournette's back's okay. And I hope your back feels better. There you go.
Train shoulders today. Train shoulders.
All right. Well, I trained nothing today, so there's that. I'll probably go running later, but whatever. Alfred Blue. Would you invest in Alfred Blue if you're drafting Leonard Fournette? If you're in a deep league, I guess.
If you're going to draft a cuff, yeah, why not?
Right. He's the Jacksonville Jaguars handcuff situation is probably not the most
not
necessary.
For nothing. I mean, they have productive running backs.
Right.
Even TJ Yeldon was productive without Fournette. So, Alfred Blue, he was okay with the Texans, but you have to remember, that Texans offensive line was trash. Is trash.
Yes, currently. Right. Past tense and current. So, there you go. All right, Anthony, before we go any further, though, why don't we get a little public service announcement from his lordship?
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
All right, guys, you know the drill. If you like today's episode and subscribe to the channel, please leave us a comment saying that you have subscribed. And once you're done, we will reply back to as many as we can to show our appreciation to you. And I always like to remind our Apple Podcast users, if you want to help support the show, you don't even have to stop the show. Just go to our page on Apple Podcasts, scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and a 5-star review, telling everyone why you love the show and why we are the best damn fantasy football podcast on the planet, where fantasy meets reality. And don't forget, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell everybody you know about the show to help us grow.
And that's
Absolutely. By the way, also, Anthony, we're what are we on Twitch, right? For those Twitch users.
Yeah, we're on Twitch, and we're getting a nice little steady flow of supporters. So this is great.
All right, keep
Not
them
a
coming.
lot,
And what
but it's growing. It's nice. It's nice to see we're growing.
and they could subscribe on there, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. So we urge you to do that, folks. Help us out there. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of your support wherever it's coming from, because you can literally get us anywhere. All right. Let's go to some 49er news. Anthony, there's been a lot of panic now, or I guess we'll get your level of panic on Dante Pettis. Kyle Shanahan was talking about Dante Pettis, saying that he must compete for his starting role. I'm curious to kind of get your thoughts on this, because folks thought this would be a slam dunk. They thought he would be, the best receiver in San Francisco. Now we come to find out he has to fight for this job.
You sure it's not just coach speak?
Regardless of whether it's coach speak or not, and again, this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't know. I'm the Niner fan, so I'm telling you, I think you're going to get some games from Dante Pettis where he's going to boom, and you're going to get some games where he's going to bust. I don't think any one of these wide receivers, whether it be Deebo Samuel, whether it be Dante Pettis, whether it be whomever, I don't think one of them is going to finish that far ahead of the second best guy for you to be like, man, that was a home run pick. I think you're going to get some frustrating games out of these wide receivers. This is if this offense is clicking on all cylinders with the way Shanahan calls plays, it could be a fantasy wonder. But I think they're going to spread the ball around just enough to frustrate the fantasy football fan. So I think Pettis is going to be boomer bust, man. I stand by that. I love Dante Pettis. Obviously, as a Niner fan, I hope he kills it. I still wouldn't mind drafting him. I love him in best ball. Guys like him and Deshaun Jackson, I'm all over it. But I think he's going to be a little boomer bust, man. But what? So you think this is coach speak?
It's coach speak. He wants to light a fire under Dante Pettis' ass.
Okay.
The cream always rises to the top. He was a second-round pick. So was Deebo Samuel. And we could be looking at a situation where it's Deebo Samuel as the 1, Pettis as the 2, Pettis as the 2, Deebo as the 1. But both of these players once they develop, are going to be very productive in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And of course, Jordan Matthews. Yeah. Mike's got to have his drink. Mike, anytime you bring up 49ers wide receivers, I'm going to bring up Jordan Matthews. But we have a bet. I don't know if it's on the sheet. You bet me he's not going to make the roster. I think he's going to make the roster.
Yeah, right. Right, because he's so talented. You have so much.
I hope he catches 100 balls just so you don't sleep.
Oh, I hope not. Listen, if he catches 100 balls, I'll sleep just fine, because that means that, we've got a productive offense. At the end of the day, that would be a bet I wouldn't mind losing. But just enough with Jordan Matthews, will you? That's how I knew that you'd like Rashard Matthews, because you like Jordan Matthews. So you must just like mediocre. That's what it is. You're just attracted to mediocre receivers.
67, 8, 72, and 8. 85, 997, and 8. 73, 804, and 3. Its first 3 years in the league, Philly shipped him out.
Right. What about the other years?
Buffalo. Back to Philly in a limited role.
No, but when
he was the guy in Philly, he was, 67, 85, and then 73? That's not bad numbers.
What's the stat line for those other years?
What, his last 2 or the first 3?
No. You read up the first 3 rather well. You glossed over the last 2 years awfully fast.
25, 282, and 1 with the Bills.
That's good.
Well, with the Nathan Peterman Bills, or was that last year?
That was last year.
Okay, so the Tyrod Taylor Bill. Okay.
I think.
Great.
Okay. So, Jordan Matthews. All right.
Now he has James Garoppolo as quarterback.
Okay, back to relevant 49ers wide receivers. Other news. We got a couple little tidbits here with the 49ers. John Lynch had said Trent Taylor needed some foot surgery and would be out indefinitely.
Oh, and where does he play?
What's that?
He plays in the slot, right? And where does Jordan Matthews play, Mike? Oh.
I only have so much beer left, Anthony. I only have so much left. Okay. Anyway, listen. You can talk about Jordan Matthews after we're done talking about the other relevant wide receivers, okay? Then you can circle it back and be cute. We'll talk about Jordan Matthews till I want to vomit. Now, he said that Trent Taylor would be out indefinitely. Shortly after that, it was released by some of the Matt Miocos of the world, those guys out there in the Bay. They had said it looked like it's going to be around a 4 to 6 injury, so he should be back at some point. Maybe week 2 or 3, somewhere around there, potentially. Again, you're not doing a lot of fantasy football investing in Trent Taylor unless you're in a deep PPR league. But there you go. That's for what it's worth. Also, literally minutes after that happened, I had made a tweet, which, by the way, I said I was accused of wishing injuries on people. Godfather, Mike Riggs. I don't wish injuries on people. But anyway, I had quote retweeted the news about Trent Taylor being injured. And I had said, this is a time for a guy like Jalen Hurd to step up in the slot position. Not Jordan Matthews, Anthony. And Jalen Hurd, minutes after that tweet, made me look good as he scored not 1, but 2 touchdowns. By the way, Anthony, in a defeat of your Dallas Cowboys. So your Cowboys are already a mess this year. Zeke's not there. Your star quarterback's turned down $30 million. They're losing the game to the 49ers in
Haven't
preseason.
the Patriots gone 0-4 in the preseason and won the Super Bowl?
It's a mess in Dallas. But anyway, Anthony, I want to ask you this. All jokes aside, Jalen Hurd, because my theory is that while Trent Taylor will come back and he'll still be a part of this team, I do think that this is enough time for Jalen Hurd to really create a role in this offense. He's a big receiver, man. If you go back and watch those highlights, the first touchdown was one where he wouldn't be denied. The second one was a nice jump ball, which they could take advantage of a lot in the slot there. So, Anthony, are you starting to pay attention to Jalen Hurd at all, or is this more just preseason football and you don't care?
It's preseason football, Mike.
Okay. So you don't think he'll have any kind of impact this season, or? The only reason why I'm thinking it, man, is because if he's playing out of the slot, it could work out. I mean, if Trent Taylor's his only competition, really? I mean, what? There's Richie James there, Jordan Matthews.
He's still a rookie receiver, and Jalen Hurd, who was he competing against? Third stringer defense.
You want to make a bet on who has a better year, Jalen Hurd or Jordan Matthews?
No, I'm gonna let me sit on that.
Come on, man, stand by your boy.
Let me sit on that. You're not going to coerce me into this one.
Tough talk. You think you're cute bringing him up? You think you're having a laugh, having a good time? Put your money where your mouth is.
Let's revisit that one.
Revisit it when?
I want to make sure he makes the roster first.
Well, yeah, right, because he might not, right? Because he's not good. Just glad I got you there. That's fine. That's even better than you not making the bet. Just the fact that you said those words out loud, that you don't know he's going to make the roster. I'm good. I'm happy. Deebo Samuel also did well in his preseason game. He had a couple of nice plays as well.
If Deebo Samuel ends up being a bust, can we call him D-Blow Samuel?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Can we patent that now?
Yeah. All right. Let me. What do we have? Deebo Samuel's ADP, because that's actually a receiver that you would be drafting at some point. I'm trying to pull that up, Anthony. Do you have that in front of you or no?
I will in about 9 seconds.
Me too. As we both scroll, let's play this scrolling game. Let's see who wins. Anthony, what are you drinking today? As long as there's dead air.
I got a coffee and I got a water.
That's miserable.
Where are we? Who are we looking for? Debo.
Looking for Debo.
Debo.
Well, Anthony's going to pull
I got nothing here in Fantasy Football Calculator. So, post 14th round receiver, which seems wrong.
After the 14th round?
Yeah, he's not even on the calculator.
He's not even on the calculator. Yeah, I don't think he is.
I love Fantasy Football Calculator, but they need to go deeper with these ADPs.
Be that as it may, if I'm in, I would have no problem with investing in
Which
draft
means
pick
the
in Deebo
people
Samuel.
who are drafting need to play in deeper leagues and challenge themselves.
Right, playing something other than the 10-team league. All right, well, there you go. So, but I'd keep an eye on all those, on all those wide receivers. Again, I do think there'll be a little boom or bust sometimes. I don't think one of them is going to be like dominant throughout the whole year. But whatever. So, Anthony, you're still on Dante Pettis. No worries.
No, I mean, no, not right now.
Yeah, all right. I mean, that's fine. I just wanted to get your perspective on that. But okay, you're considering it more coach speak. I'm saying it's something to probably be a little concerned about. I'm not saying that he can't, go from having to win that job to winning it by the time preseason ends. That could obviously clearly happen. Just needs a couple of good practices to get him right back up there. So we'll see. Monitor it out in Santa Clara, and it will be curious to see where his ADP goes. That's where I'd like to watch. Actually, I think I have that up here with Pettis. One more thing before we move on. Yeah, Pettis, in the past month, he has risen from the 5th pick of the 7th round to the 8th pick of the 6th round. So it'll be curious to see if he continues to rise or if he falls a bit now with this news. That'll really gauge if people are worrying about it, and we'll keep you updated on that. Maybe even tomorrow. Spoiler alert. All right. Lions news. We talked enough about the 49ers, Anthony. Lions news. Beat writer Therese Paler. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's reporting that Lions wide receiver Danny Amendola, he could be a candidate to replace Golden Tate as being that sort of safety blanket for one Matthew Stafford. Well, it should be noted, I mean, Danny Amendola finished outside the top 60 among wide receivers in half-point formats last year. He was the number 1 wide receiver for the Dolphins in both receptions and receiving yards. I mean, Anthony, I don't think you're exactly chomping at the bit to draft Danny Amendola, I would imagine. He's not even listed on Fantasy Football Calculator right now. It's encouraging news, but do we really expect him to make a dent with the likes of Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones?
I mean, you never know. Maybe a couple of years ago, I would say yes, because they were more of a passing offense, but They seem to want to commit to the running game a little bit more, maybe employ, 2 to 3 tight end sets in between the 20s as well as in short yardage and goal line situations. But if Danny Amendola gets the opportunity and he can stay on the field, I think he could be a sneaky PPR receiver.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Marvin Jones doesn't exactly have the cleanest bill of health either. He's an injury away. I mean, they were trying to move him.
That they were.
This offseason. So you never know. Danny Amendola in a deeper league, take a shot on him.
I also think the way they I'm sorry, I'll let you finish your thought in a moment. I was just going to think the way the Lions look like they're going to be running this offense, more geared towards, ground and pound. That short intermediate passing game may work out well if that's the route that they're going. It may work out for a guy like Amendola.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind as well. Anthony, I just noticed we're doing a lot of sidetracking here, but it's for the fun of the audience here. Somebody commented on Facebook that you have a very nice background.
Thank you.
And while you do, I do not. So I was thinking of getting a background, perhaps, behind me. I could go NFL style like you. You got the cool gridiron look, the lights, the atmosphere. Or do you remember when you were in grade school? You remember when you had the laser background?
Yes. Yes.
The photos? I found that.
And that's a good friend of mine, Rich. I've known Rich for a long time. He's if you need a Mercedes, contact Rich. Mercedes salesman.
There you go. Shout out to Rich. Thank you, Rich. Richie Rich, selling the Mercedes. But what do you think, Anthony? The laser background? Too much?
Well, for you?
Yeah.
What you're going to have a mullet next?
That would be sick. That would be cool. I'd have to grow my hair out.
Glamour shots.
All right, whatever. We'll talk about it off air. So, okay. Never mind. That was a good talk that went absolutely nowhere.
You want to do a laser background? Do it.
Okay. Thank you for your encouragement. The hat makes up for the background. Thank you. See, there you go. There's Periscope at at Gump Corey. He's doing well in this chat here on Periscope. He's dominating it. So there you go.
All our chats are going right now. YouTube, we got ATL Mikey in there, got Rich on Facebook. This is great.
Is anybody saying anything relevant in YouTube?
No, just ATL.
So there's nothing relevant then, right?
Your guy.
Yeah.
It's our guy.
That's your guy now.
He is my guy. I like ATL. You guys need to patch it up.
I handed off the reins to you. He knows what he needs to do to patch it up.
You guys need to patch it up.
He's listening.
I don't like all this animosity.
You know, there's no animosity. He's just got to patch it up. That's it. He's to do that. That's fine. Also, by the way, this was kind of surprising to me, was that also Paler was also talking about the Lions, saying that he believes that TJ Hawkinson will likely begin the year as the number 2 tight end behind the recently signed Jesse James, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Anthony, regardless, you can feel free to fade. You can continue to feel free to fade the position of tight end, the Detroit Lions, but it's kind of weird, no?
He's a rookie.
He's taken back by that. I know, but he was supposed to be like the top tight end.
It's not going to be long. He'll be the tight end in that offense sooner rather than later. But again, how much impact is he going to have? I think he has some touchdown upside in the red zone. But other than that, we don't know what the Lions are going to be. Like we said earlier with Amendola, it looks like they want to run the ball.
And Dynasty, sure, you want to have Hawkinson, of course, you know.
But look at the target opportunities. I know the tight ends in Detroit, we spoke about this on the last show or the show before. Wasn't a lot of tight end targets in Detroit last year, but if you go back to the Ebron years, there were plenty. Ebron just didn't cash in.
Right. All right, well, that's it for that. I mean, either way, from a fantasy perspective, the tight end position is too deep to really even give much attention to the Lions tight ends, so let's just leave it at that. Anthony, I'm not sure how long you could talk about this, but I'm going to get up to get another beer that I will not finish since you had to bring up Jordan Matthews so much you drove me to drink. But Panthers tight end, Ian Thomas, second in command behind Greg Olsen, he's got a little injury with his ribs, so he remains silent at practice. As far as Olsen goes, no news is good news, so we'll see how that continues to develop. But Anthony, talk a little bit about the tight ends of the Panthers. I'll be right back.
Well, Greg Olsen is clearly going to be the tight end one in this offense. What I guess why I pumped the brakes a little bit on Greg Olsen is because he has his recurring foot injury. Ian Thomas, with or without Greg Olsen in the lineup, I do believe going into his second year, Ian Thomas will carve out a role, even if Olsen is healthy. But I don't believe Olsen can stay healthy for a full year. So if you have Ian Thomas on your dynasty teams, as I do, be patient. He's the tight end of the future for the Carolina Panthers. Mike?
Okay, I'm just looking up something here. We got my smoke alarm may go off in a moment. Nothing to worry about. Looks like the Texans have traded Jadeveon Clowney.
What?
We just got I wish his name was still there. Somebody mentioned it in Periscope. If you mentioned it and if you're still there, please show yourself so I can give you some credit. It looks like Jadeveon Clowney's been traded by the Texans. I'm looking to see to where. I know Clowney and the Ravens are trading. I'm not sure if that's real. Anthony,
I still don't see it.
All right. Well,
I think
I'd keep an eye on that.
Is this real?
Is it real? I keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it.
Fake news.
It may be fake news. If it's fake news, definitely show yourself in the chat so I can let people know. But it's out there.
Here, what do we got? I don't have anything legitimate in front of me.
Keep an eye. May have some breaking news. And if it's not, you know what, Anthony? I bet it's your thumbs down guy.
I got a Texans Storm report, which is a small Twitter account saying, per source, the Texans are trading Jadeveon Clowney 21 minutes ago. I don't have anything else on this. I don't know how real this is, but
All right. Well, keep an eye on it, but maybe we'll have something before the show ends. And Anthony, if it is a lie, maybe it's your thumbs down guy. Which, by the way, do we have a thumbs down yet on YouTube?
I don't know. But I'll check.
All right.
I do want to bring up one more before we wrap up.
Well, we weren't going to wrap up. We were going to go through a couple names here.
Okay.
As far as some of the rookies with the preseason, talk about a couple of these guys. But what? I'm sorry.
I wanted to bring up McCole Hardman, but okay. I'm sorry. I thought we were done.
Let's kick it off with there then. Why don't you talk a little bit about McCole Hardman? If you've seen the highlights, I mean, they said he had some bursts
as advertised. The speed on the Kansas City Chiefs. When you take into consideration McCole Hardman and Tyreek Hill and even Sammy Watkins, there's a ton of speed on this team. But McCole Hardman, he can do it all. He took a run for a negative 5-yard loss. 2 passes, 31 yards, scored. And then he even had a pretty punt or a kick return. McCole Hardman, I know he's only entering his 3rd year of his life playing receiver. He has a lot of development to go. But I think McCole Hardman, if you look at the uncertainty with Sammy Watkins staying healthy, McCole Hardman will have a role on this team in 2019.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can call it uncertainty. There's certainty that Sammy Watkins will be injured. Just because he does get injured all the time. Yeah, I definitely eye-opening though. You see a lot of stuff in the preseason and you go, all right, like Anthony, like you mentioned earlier, right? About Jalen Hurd, and they just chalk it up to, well, what? He's going up against a 3rd-team defense, and but every now and again, some guys show you something. And McCole Hardman, to me, was one of those guys. So yeah, he got my attention. And if you haven't seen the highlight yet, definitely check it out. Anthony, another guy I want to mention to you that a lot of people were talking about after this week of preseason games was David Montgomery of the Chicago Bears. I mean, listen. Drafted in the 3rd round, number 73 overall. Folks knew that he was going to have a presence in this offense, especially for the fact that Jordan Howard is now in Philadelphia. But, I mean, Montgomery impressed. He scored a touchdown, ran hard, ran through some defenders. Are you any more? I mean, does this get you a little more jazzed about David Montgomery?
I mean, I took him in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
If that says anything, and you know how much weight I put into that.
Yes, you do.
Am I worried a little bit about Mike Davis? I know it's not a sexy name. They're not paying him a lot of money. But David Montgomery's still a rookie. So, yeah, maybe earlier in the year, David Montgomery is going to be eased into that RB1 spot. But sooner rather than later, he's going to emerge, and I think he can be the most productive rookie running back. Not named Justice Hill.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you love yourself.
I don't mean. I think it's going to be David Montgomery, and then Justice Hill's not going to be far behind him, though. I am seriously buying into Justice Hill.
Wow,
that's my guy.
Okay.
That's my guy.
That's fine. Yeah, and that's something to talk about for another show. But I mean, right now Montgomery is going with the 12th pick in the 3rd round, so he's right in that 3rd round that you talk about. You love running backs. After that, 4th round starts off Derrick Henry, but that 3rd round, I mean, where does he rank in that 3rd round for you? We got Fournette, Aaron Jones.
Did you see that Justice Hill pass in the preseason?
I missed it, unfortunately.
Well, you go back and watch it, and then you reassess.
I'm not down the guy. Oh, ATL just asked me to DM him quick. So he's cut off from all lines of communication. He hasn't been. I don't know if he's been using smoke fire to get a hold of me, but now he's asking me to DM him. So we'll keep you posted. All right, but Anthony. So among that 3rd round, though, because you mentioned that you like the 3rd round. Oh, you sent me the Justice Hill video. Among the 3rd round, you mentioned you liked them. Leonard Fournette, Aaron Jones, Devonta Freeman, Marlon Mack. Then we go Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery. So among those 3rd round running backs that you talked about, where does he rank for you think?
In front of Josh Jacobs.
Okay. You don't put him in front of Marlon Mack?
He's still a rookie.
Okay.
He's still a rookie. Marlon Mack is going to be running behind a terrific offensive line. Take Andrew Luck out of the picture, then he's jumping Marlon Mack. But
Okay.
David Montgomery is going to start the year ranked as my top rookie back, but I don't know if I can put him ahead of these veterans just yet because there's still Tarek Cohen and there's still Mike Davis.
Okay. So you're excited, but your not expectations, but your feet are still on the ground as it relates to David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Even following his preseason.
You see how I am with rookies. If I'm going to take a
You
shot,
are.
I'm going to buy a ton of Justice Hill in the 9th, 10th, 11th round, wherever he's going. That's where I'm going to take my chances.
All right. Okay. Then we had Kyler Murray, by the way, who played. And I mean, you talk about lasers. Just out route after out route after out route. The kid looked good. The kid moved well. Moved out of the pocket well. I mean, I liked what I saw. Kyler Murray's a quarterback who has been rising up draft boards. I'm going to pull up his ADP in a moment. Currently, he is going. Let's pull up just the quarterbacks here.
I
want to see how far he's rising.
He looks the part.
He looked good, man. Did you watch that drive?
But he looks small.
He does look small, but Russell Wilson looks small too,
like a Polly Pocket.
Well, jeez. All right. Well, okay. So he looks like Polly Pocket to Anthony Cervino. He is going with the 5th pick in the 8th round right now. That being the 8th quarterback off the board. 8th quarterback off the board. That's before Drew Brees, before Cam Newton, before Jared Goff, before the previous mentioned Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. I can go on and on. 8th quarterback off the board.
I can't do it, Mike.
And he's kind of been teetering up and down as far as his ADP value. Very cool if you go to Fantasy Football Calculator. You can kind of see timeline of where they go ADP wise. So
I can't do it.
You can't. I can't do it. I can't do it with Cam Newton. As much as I'm intrigued by this kid, and listen, I'm in a couple of leagues this year, so I may take him in one league just because I want to have some stock in him. But if you're just a guy doing one football league, maybe 2 football leagues, I'm not saying he's not going to do well, but I'd rather wait on Cam Newton. To me,
or Dak.
Cam Newton's coming off of Dak too, of course. Dak, yep, give him some love too, absolutely. But I always think of Cam Newton because I always mention it every freaking show, just like you mentioned Jordan Matthews, his most consistent year last year.
You could get Russell Wilson.
I know,
as your QB 12,
right?
So there's that.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Impressive, and again, we're saying here at the Faceoff that we're not saying that he's not going to do well because he looked darn good. Listen, call preseason what you will, but he looked good in that first outing. So I just don't know if I can draft him at that spot. But there you go. So playing well, probably going to have a good season, especially if he's able to rush the ball and if he can remain durable. Anthony mentioned Polly Pocket syndrome. So that should excite Cardinal fans that you said that. Our Cardinal fan listenership just sunk to the ground. So
I'm not putting him down. I'm just saying that's what he looks like. Look at him against his teammates.
Okay. Anthony, any other...
It's like Andre the Giant and Rey Mysterio.
There we go. He's okay. Any other rookie or even just any player you want to discuss from preseason?
I brought up McCole Hardman. That's
right.
The one that stuck out to me because everybody's putting a fork in him now that Tyreek Hill is back. And I just don't see it because, this is the NFL. 3 wide sets are the norm. And he's the 3rd receiver in that offense. You bring up Tony Pollard. We didn't see a lot of Tony Pollard. And maybe that's because Dallas doesn't want to show their hand. But, with or without Zeke, even if Zeke is in there, Tony Pollard has a skill set and line up in the slot, excellent hands, where he could have a little bit of fantasy value in deeper leagues too.
What about Alexander Madison with the Vikings? Didn't have the greatest game in the world, but he looked okay out there.
He's a cuff.
He's a cuff, right.
And if he develops, maybe they use him in goal line situations. Maybe he plays that Latavius Murray role.
But I'm saying if he plays the Latavius Murray role, he's fantasy relevant.
Oh.
Is he somebody we should be paying attention to?
With tempered expectations, because if Dalvin Cook is healthy, he's going to be the guy.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's pretty much it then, Anthony. If you have no one else to discuss, that's kind of the lay of the land. Again, preseason's fun because football's back. Let's get a look at this Justice Hill here.
Well, one more.
What do you got?
Little bit of news. N'Keal Harry apparently is dealing with a turf toe. Another red flag for N'Keal Harry.
And our boy, he's our boy now. We mentioned him just prior to the preseason. Right?
Who, Jacoby?
Played well. Yeah,
Jacoby Myers. Bill Belichick did say he has a long way to go in the league.
Which is fine. It's fair. I mean, he does. It's not,
But I remember everybody with that N'Keal Harry hype, and I was like, let's pump the brakes because he's with the Patriots. And it's Bill Belichick. And if he makes those mental mistakes and he sets himself back and now he's dealing with turf toe, he's not going to be on the field. All of a sudden, Demaryius Thomas is going to come off the pup. Maurice Harris, my guy from Washington Redskins, he looks pretty good. They have bodies, and it's the Patriots. They just need bodies. They don't need draft capital.
Yeah. All right. So, N'Keal Harry not having the best start here in this preseason, in this training camp. Actually, Damian Harris, you sent me a link. He's not getting a lot of work either.
Oh, I mean, Sony's healthy. James White's healthy, and
I still like something about Damian Harris, but I can't let it go. But all right, so yeah, it doesn't look good right now, at least if you're a Damian Harris supporter. So, Anthony, anything else to mention before we ride off into the sunset today?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're listening right now on Apple Podcasts, please subscribe to the show. Please leave us a 5-star rating and a 5-star review telling everyone why you love the FF Faceoff and why we are the best damn fantasy football podcast on the planet, where fantasy meets reality. Because the more subscriptions, ratings, and reviews that we get, the more people we can reach. And in the end, we want to help each and every one of you dominate your leagues, or win fantasy football championships, dominate your leagues, and absolutely positively crush the competition. We will maintain the culture of winning we've built here in the FF Faceoff for almost 3 years, so inception, very close, and over 215 episodes. We'll be back tomorrow with the Ball Blast Girls. Mike, take us home.
Yeah, that'll be a fun show. I thank you all for listening. You know what? Maybe we'll ask them tomorrow what their thoughts are on Jordan Matthews.
Fine with me.
Fine with you. Better be fine with you because we're doing it. All right. Oh, really quick. I'm asking by ATL Mike, Anthony, what do I do to patch things up? So there you go. All right, so we'll see. The plot thickens. Folks, most importantly, stay thirsty, stay nice to one another, be safe, and we will see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Here it comes again. Lunch. Will it be the same old, same old? Or are you ready to take a vacation from the ordinary with the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub at Firehouse Subs? Freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, craveably sweet mustard sauce, and a hint of Caribbean seasoning. Just $5.55 for a medium. Save time. Order the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub on the Firehouse Subs app. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives. Participating locations. Limited time only, plus tax. Prices may vary for delivery. Here it comes again. Lunch. Will it be the same old, same old? Or are you ready to take a vacation from the ordinary with the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub at Firehouse Subs? Freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, craveably sweet mustard sauce, and a hint of Caribbean seasoning. Just $5.55 for a medium. Save time. Order the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub on the Firehouse Subs app. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives. Participating locations, limited time only, plus tax. Prices may vary for delivery.